About the role of young people in politics. Many are asking tough questions about governance, leadership, and whether those in office are responding to the real issues affecting citizens, especially the youth. At the same time, we've seen young leaders step forward and take the significant roles in public life. One of them is Christopher Kang'Ombe, Member of Parliament for Kamfisa. His political career started early in the year 2006 while still a student at the Copperbelt University. He served as student union president that same year. At just 21, he was elected as local government councillor, becoming the first university student in Zambia to hold public office. He went on to serve 2 terms as councillor, later became Kitwe's first executive mayor and chaired the Local Government Association of Zambia. In the year 2021, he entered parliament under the Patriotic Front. Over the years, he has been vocal on youth involvement in politics, local development, and mining sector reforms. So tonight, on Oxygen of Democracy, we discuss the state of governance, the role of young people in shaping national direction, and the road ahead as the country moves closer to the next general election, and that is next year. And in about 2 weeks' time, we'll be counting exactly a year to go before Zambia heads to the polls. So we try to design our conversation towards next year's elections as we encourage many Zambians to participate by airing their views and see the type of the country they aim to be part of. Moving on. So allow me to welcome my guests for this evening's edition of Oxygen of Democracy, Kamfisa Member of Parliament. That's Honorable Christopher Kang'Ombe. Good evening and welcome to Oxygen of Democracy.
Good evening, Alex. It's a great honor. Please convey my gratitude to management of Prime TV for according me an opportunity to interact with our viewers. But also I'm excited to be here. It's been a while since we had a conversation around governance. So I'm very grateful and pleasant evening to our viewers today.
Thank you so much. So this evening we discuss youth governance and future, and like I've said, that my guest is the Kamfisa Member of Parliament. That's Christopher Kang'Ombe, helping us discuss these matters and that of and related matters. So I should say congratulations on your political journey.
Okay.
Yes, on your political journey. I mean, it's not easy to start politics as a student. The first, I mean, you aim first. You were a student and holding public office at that time.
Yeah.
So it's a congratulations. But let's talk about you.
Yeah.
What inspired you to join politics?
Well, what inspired me, first of all, I had this opportunity when I was in high school, when everyone was leaving Kitwe Boys in grade 9 after getting very good grades. Everyone was going to David Kaunda. Those that did very well were going to Hillcrest. I decided to remain at Kitwe Boys Secondary School. So I was at Kitwe Boys Secondary School for 5 years, and that is where I got the first exposure to leadership, because I was doing public speaking. Public speaking is what you call debate. Debating, you pick a topic on healthcare. You are in secondary school, you are discussing whether girls who get pregnant should be allowed back into school, and then you start realizing that actually there's a government that should guide policy, and then there's a policy that should impact society. So at that young age, in my, I think, when I was, I think, around 18 or 17 thereabout, I was given the opportunity to be head boy for the secondary school. So that allowed me to begin understanding governance at a quite young age. So by the time I was going into university, I was already decided. I was actually decided that at university level, I'll be in the Students' Union. And you see, when you read books about governance, you read about how Levi Patrick Mwanawasa was vice president for the Students' Union at UNZA. When you read about how the young people, the first generation of leaders were youthful and they decided to take up the mantle of leadership, I felt I had this desire to participate. I felt that going into university, it was the right platform to accord me the opportunity to be able to influence policy, because you can't just sit back and say, well, the others will decide. So I took that step because the foundation had been provided for me. Debate in high school, head boy for the secondary school, later on students' union politics. And I think the rest starts from there. So what people have seen grow into leadership as Christopher Kang'Ombe has been shaped by society giving me the opportunity. So you don't get the opportunity if you don't offer yourself. So I think at quite a young age, I was given that opportunity. And I'm quite grateful to colleagues at university, colleagues in secondary school who said, Christopher, I think would be a better place to be our head boy in this particular year. Pretty much that's the foundation. So I was motivated by the desire to contribute to changing policy, strengthening policy, because I understood that really policy exists, and if you don't deal with policy, you don't get the outcomes you want.
Any defining moments, personal, political journey?
Well, there are two defining moments. So the first defining moment is how in my 10th grade, the person who used to take us in English called me to the staff room and told me, Christopher, your voice is very loud. You're able to project what you want to say. Why can't you join public speaking? So that was a turning point, because assuming I had not decided to join public speaking, maybe I wasn't going to get the exposure to engage in conversations about policy. So the first turning point or defining moment is Mr. Mulomba, who used to take us in English, telling me, Christopher, join public speaking. First defining moment. Second defining moment, we were in the Students' Union. We traveled to State House to meet President Mwanawasa. I was Secretary General for the students, and then we presented a lot of issues affecting students. And then the president at that time, may his soul rest in peace, tells us, young men, and our vice president in the union was a lady, a young man and dear lady, you know, I was also in the students' union. You know that leadership, I can see you guys are shaping up very well. It was a defining moment because I realized that this person who is now president of Zambia is actually coming from the same background.
Sure.
So in that meeting, I exited State House, that was 2006, went back to Kitwe. I had already in my mind a decision that I was going to contest as councillor. So in short, those two are very key defining moments because they gave me the opportunity to make a decision.
You like you're saying that you got interested in matters of policy, matters of administration
and governance,
at a very, very young age. In this conversation, we're having it at a time when there is that clarion call for Zambians to consider certain changes in our constitution that will allow young people to be part and parcel, just to mirror in your journey. Is policy enough, or is personal driven ambition?
Well, it's a combination of both, but obviously, depending on the type of person you are, you then lean towards one.
Sure.
So for instance, if the desire is you want to be part of those who make decisions, you then tell yourself, what platform do I use? Because you see, others have argued that to change things, you have to be a candidate. My view is that every 5 years there are elections. Others are better placed to be candidates. Others are better placed to actually drive the agenda of a certain candidate through which they can get the decisions made. And this is why, for me, I've been doing a lot of consultations with a lot of young people. Others have contested elections at councillor level. Others have called me, Chris, I want to stand as president for the Students' Union, or I want to be a leader in a market association. Where do you think I can start? Indirectly, I've been talking to young people for many years, almost 15 years now. So this year I told myself, should I wait for young people to call me to ask me, how has your journey been, so that we can also pursue your path? So I've decided that I'm going to begin a series of mentorship sessions where we simply start guiding young people. And I've told them, colleagues, I'm not asking you to pay me for helping you get to where, to the path that I've pursued, because I've been helped. Christopher Kang'Ombe, the Christopher you see today, is a product of a lot of support from people. So I'm asking myself, how do I help young people the way you've put it? Is it self-motivation? Is it the desire to change policy? It's a combination of both. But you see, if you don't have the drive, how are you going to change policy? Because no one will give you the opportunity if you don't win an election, or if you don't form a civil society organization that can champion good governance. So starting this year, we've started a series of mentorship sessions. I've just finished compiling information of how many want to be mentored. So starting August, we are going to have a series of activities just to talk to young people, tell them how to campaign, how to win an election, because now campaigns have become more expensive. The time I was starting, things were much easier. Today it's a bit of a challenge, I think, for most young people. So I have a duty to help them get there.
All right.
Yeah.
And in 2021, like we said, that you entered the bigger stage now. That's Parliament and serving your constituency. The Patriotic Front sponsored your decision to enter Parliament.
Yeah.
How is the PF on your side?
Well, currently,
yes.
Well, it's been destabilized. There are challenges. You are aware that in politics, if I was in government today, I would obviously want to have an opposition that is able to compete with my ideas as an incumbent. What I'm seeing now is that there's a pattern where the current leadership, and I'm speaking about the ruling party, may not want the level of competition that is necessary for democracy. Because you see, to get the best out of the political systems, the political arena, the people out there want to see political players compete. We're not saying competing physically. We're saying Christopher comes on TV, he's talking about mining. Those that don't agree with me should also come to the table and be able to say, well, this is what we think should work, not what Christopher said. So ideas should compete. But what I'm seeing now is that there's this strong push from the ruling party not to see the opposition strong enough to compete. So you've asked me a very important question. What is the state of the party? Well, the state of the party, you know what happened in 2023. A convention was sponsored by state agents. We tried to challenge the matter in court. The court threw out issues to do with how a political party called PF should elect its leaders, because really PF has a culture, just like UPND has a culture, Socialist Party has a culture. You can't pick a president without the delegates going to participate in voting. So where we've reached now, we are now at a stage where we are 1 year to an election.
Sure.
Will PF be able to compete effectively? Well, we wait for the courts to determine the outstanding cases, because we still have cases in court. And others have said, no, you've brought this on yourselves. No. It is very clear from 2023 that state agents were used to create all this confusion that we've been able to see in the party. This case before court, this case before court. But ultimately, it's the level of competition which I think the ruling party did not want from a more united patriotic front.
From the news gathering side, in terms of us media people, we're now getting used to such words whenever there is a confusion in a particular political party. Like in this case, the Patriotic Front, factions, meaning that there is more than one leadership. And we've seen, especially in the recent past, where each certain members of parliament will consider themselves as acting president. Okay, so I'm asking you, which side do you belong to? Which faction of the Patriotic Front, so that I can know how to tailor my questions?
Well, you don't have to tailor them to any angle. I think for me, what is key, and I'll answer your question. What is key is, do you need a strong opposition? Okay. I've argued, and I'll argue on TV today, that the platform called Patriotic Front is just one among many political platforms. So if the political party called PF is destabilized to a point where it can't compete in an election, because the Secretary General says I won't sign an adoption certificate, the ruling party, the president, who is at the Registrar of Society, was never elected by anyone. I'm sure you're aware that every political party has got rules on how it elects its leaders. And because the Patriotic Front has not been allowed to dictate its own electoral rules internally, then we have to ask ourselves, is the Patriotic Front the only platform that the people can use to present issues that then the political party presents as competitive ideas to the ruling party? Because really, the competition should not be between PF and UPND. The competition should be what is good for Zambia. So if PF as a platform is destabilized to a point where it can't compete, Alex, I can rest assure the people of Zambia that platforms emerge. You kill off one platform, state agents move in, they destabilize, they use state institutions to change names at the registrar, they ignore the timelines for resolving court processes, because by now issues to do with PF could have been resolved. So the focus by the guys in the ruling party, I think, has been, how do we deal with PF? Mm-hmm. But you see, even if PF died today, there will still be a platform that will emerge for people who would say, which party do we pick? Because really, people will always have options. There can never be a vacuum in leadership, Alex. There can never be a stage in our political landscape that there are no options. People always say, between political party A and this other platform, who do we pick? So the competition should be driven by ideas. The party that presents the best for the young people, the party that presents the best for Zambians who want to participate, for instance, in mining, the political party that presents solutions to their problems will be given the platform. So is there enough competition in the political arena? No, competition will emerge. The ideas that I'll present to the people of Zambia, the ideas that other political players will present, that is what will create competition. Because I have a strong view that there are things that Zambia can do better. Mm-hmm. There are others who have got good suggestions. So PF, in its current state, it has got a lot of challenges. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how's the mood amongst members of parliament? I'm asking this because...
Very important question.
Yeah. How's the mood? And you just started. You're still in your first term.
Yeah.
I mean, as member of parliament, you've just started that journey.
Yeah.
And
in parliament.
Yes, and I believe you really want to continue. You tell us if that's not the case. You've started that journey. How is the mood amongst members of parliament from the Patriotic Front?
Well, individually they will come and answer for themselves. But for me,
from your side,
I'll speak on my behalf. For me, who's been a good student of politics, reading politics, understanding what drives decisions of voters, understanding the times in which we are now in modern times. In modern times, Christopher Kang'Ombe is given 1 hour on Prime TV. He should focus on the key issues. So for me, I'm unmoved. For me, I'm unmoved. For me, I feel that the people of Zambia have already given me the opportunity to be in leadership. I've been able to showcase what I'm able to do. I've been improving my leadership over time, and I know very well that I will have a role to play next year. Right. Whether PF has got problems or it hasn't got problems, Christopher Kang'Ombe always has a role to play, because society has been grooming me into leadership. I've been learning, I've been understanding that read the times. The times now in politics are more about what things do people want to hear that are realistic. What are the views, what are the expectations of our people in mining? Whether PF is there or not, the views have to be discussed. So for me, from where I am seated, I'm unsettled. Despite all these problems in the Patriotic Front.
Your affiliated faction?
Well, for now, I'm not affiliated to any faction, because the reality is that...
So who do you report to in the PF?
Well, in the PF currently there's a leadership, okay? And this leadership is not the leadership that is appearing at the Registrar of Society. So people will claim I'm faction A, faction B, but currently there's a leadership under Vice President Honorable Given Lubinda, who is the acting president of the Patriotic Front. So if the Central Committee meeting is called, that is where all of us attend, because that is the current leadership of the Patriotic Front, not the leadership that is at the Registrar.
Do all members of parliament attend? I mean, all those people that are called as in the Central Committee? Yes,
well, even MPs, if the meeting is called, there's recognition that Honorable Lubinda is the current president, acting president of the Patriotic Front. Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to you and Parliament. You just recently, we've seen you focusing heavily on mining reforms in this country.
Very important.
So
sector.
I want us to go to some of the specific bills and policy proposals that you're working on as a parliamentarian.
Well, consistently, and I'm on record, that is why I'm saying 5 years in parliament is a rare opportunity. So when you're given an opportunity, demonstrate that you know your role. So in the mining sector, my first proposal had to do with where do the mines get the electricity to support their mining activities?
Sure.
Ideally, we need to have ZESCO providing the power because it's a business opportunity. That's ideally. But then because ZESCO has not been able to generate enough power to sell to all the consumers, mining, domestic, commercial, I took a proposal to Parliament. I said, look, mining houses have got access to finance, millions of dollars. So why are mining companies waiting for ZESCO to provide electricity? ZESCO should be providing electricity for domestic consumers, for industries that cannot set up their own power plants. So proposal number one was that each mining company, if it needs 400 megawatts, ZESCO should only provide half. The other half should be provided by the mining company, meaning the power plant we see at Mamba Core, each mining company can set up a power plant. If they prefer solar, each mining company should set up its own power plant. So reform number one, which I proposed to Parliament, it was debated. Of course, some members from the ruling party objected it, but the Minister of Energy understood what I was saying. And he agreed with me that, look, mining companies that can generate half of its electricity should actually be allowed to do it because then it will allow us to free some electricity for domestic consumers, for these who can't generate their own electricity. Proposal number one. Proposal number two is that there are minerals that Zambians can mine. 2 weeks ago, I was in Parliament and I was telling my colleagues in government that why should Mufumbe gold mine be run by a foreign entity? You know, the permanent secretary announced that they are looking for a large-scale mining investor, and that is what I objected. And this is why I want to be on record, because in Parliament you have to be on record. What do you stand for? What I stand for as Christopher Kang'Ombe is that there are things that we can do as Zambia ourselves. We can mine gold. We can engage people that understand financial modeling to tell us what is the best model to raise money to run a gold mine. After all, local people are able to do it. So reform number two is for us to begin segmenting which minerals should be mined by local people. Which ones do we require to partner with our investors? Because I don't want to be on record here to say I don't believe in partnerships. Yes, partnerships are important. The investors have already invested in so many mines that are existing. It's time we tried our own mining activities. It's time, Alex, we put some millions of dollars together ourselves. We asked Zambia Gold Company to buy off the gold from all these small-scale miners, and then we get the gold into Bank of Zambia. The target for me should be not the $300 million worth of gold that we have. You know, we have $300 million worth of gold at Bank of Zambia. It's not enough. We should not be targeting $1 billion worth of gold. We should be targeting $5 billion worth of gold. Am I exaggerating the expectation? I think we have enough gold deposits in Zambia. Every gold quantity that we produce, sure, Alex, should be allowed to be purchased by Bank of Zambia. That is how all the rich countries are doing. So those are the ideas we should be discussing. Yeah, we have to discuss politics once in a while, whether political party A is okay. But at the end of the day, we should be asking ourselves, what do great nations have in common? They have gold reserves. That's how come they're able to go to any meeting and tell off anyone that we have the reserves. We don't have the reserves, yet we have the gold. That's reform number two.
As you are pushing for, let's brand it as Zambianization of certain mining sectors, subsectors, the debate that has been over time, I mean, it's not a new debate.
It's not a new debate.
Over the years, this has always come forth. I mean, even those that are in opposition and transgress into the ruling party, this has continued. Let me ask you, you're coming from the copper belt.
Yeah.
Do we have the capacity as Zambians to run the mining sector, the subsectors that you're talking about?
Well, currently, Zambian engineers are running First Quantum Minerals in Solwezi, Kalumbila. Zambian engineers are running Lumwana Mine. Zambian engineers are running Munali Nickel Mine in Mazabuka. Zambian engineers are running Mopani. They are running KCM. They are Zambian engineers. I had the privilege to work in some of these mining companies. These are colleagues who studied at UNZA, they went into Australia, came back, others went to China. So in terms of ability to run, in terms of the ability to be able to know that the copper now is ready, the minerals are ready, the grade of copper is good, I think technically we have the capacity. the challenge we've had over the years is that we've not believed in our ability to raise money to run a mine, because to run a mine, you need money. So I've been asking my colleagues in the financial space, how do foreigners raise money? They come into Zambia, they are given a mining license, they go back to China to borrow money, come back, they start running a mine. So I'm asking myself, if we owned those mines, are we saying we can't raise the money domestically? Are we saying we can't go with that same business plan, go into China, borrow money and run a mine ourselves? The point I'm making is that in terms of skills, in terms of experience, we've been mining since the year 1930. Clearly, we have acquired the experience. What we've not been able to discuss, and this is what I present to you this evening, and I hope the people of Zambia are following. Where are the people that have studied financial modeling? If today we announced that Mfumbwe mine, we want to raise $100 million, and only Zambians have to contribute to that $100 million, Alex, you'll be overwhelmed with people saying, I'll chip in $1,000, I'll chip in 100,000 kwacha. People will come forward. What we've not done as political leaders is that we've not believed in ourselves. We've not believed in ourselves. So you've asked me, Christopher, this is not a new conversation. What is different about your proposal? What is different about my proposal is that, for me, I believe in Zambians. I believe that if today we announced we need $100 million to put into Mapatizia lithium mining. You know there's lithium in Mapatizia, Southern Province. If today we announce that we want people in Southern Province, those farmers who have money, there are farmers who have money in Southern Province, who are Zambians. If we told them, apart from farming, there's a mine where you can get lithium to do lithium batteries for your solar systems. Are you ready to invest money? I'm telling you, Alex, they will invest. Am I exaggerating? Am I hallucinating? Is this something that we can fail to do? I think that we need to begin believing in ourselves. I think for me that will be the difference in terms of the many approaches that we've had. We've doubted ourselves. But it's never too late to begin believing in ourselves.
So from your research, we have the capacity.
We have the technical capacity, we have the skills, we have the accountants. They've not been called upon to model it around local ownership.
So why are we not graduating to the action part now?
It's basically failure to believe in yourselves.
Even who's supposed to believe in?
So even when I went to Parliament to debate ownership of Mfumbwe gold mine by the Zambian government, even when I went to Parliament to discuss skills that should be reserved for Zambians, others were saying, but we don't have the skills. So you can see there's that lack of self-belief sometimes. This is where institutions like EIZ come in. EIZ is where all the engineers assemble. I want to engage president of EIZ to have a conversation around, do we only get employed by mining giants, or we can model Mfumbwe around Zambian ownership? So who is supposed to initiate the conversation? Me, I took it to Parliament to discuss the policy aspect. Now the people in government at the highest level, His Excellency the President, at ministerial level, the Minister of Mines, if they don't believe in Zambians, this thing will not go anywhere. But if the leadership that is able to implement policy believes in some of these suggestions we are bringing, the ideas that can shape Zambia, tomorrow you will see a pilot project. Zambia Gold Company will be given more money to buy more gold to take into Bank of Zambia. It's possible that we can achieve something.
In general, in the last 4 years, there's been so much talk that there's some certain reforms that have happened in the mining sector. Before we go into the specifics, describe the attitude of the current administration towards the mining sector in the last 4 years.
Well, I'll single out two things. The current leadership is on record that they agreed with the previous administration's decision to pursue certain matters to resolve challenges, for instance, at KCM. You remember, KCM had two shareholders, Vedanta and ZCCM-IH. So if you are a shareholder and you're not getting the financial benefit of owning shares in a mine, the bigger brother is not giving you your taxes, it's not giving you your dividends, you then go to court to say, we've failed to resolve these challenges. After government changed in 2021, the new government decided to settle the matter outside court. We don't know what changed. we've still not seen the benefits that our local people in Chingola, Chilawombwe, Kitwe, because KCM operates in 4 districts. Nampundwe, which is, I think, Mwembeshi, which is Nampundwe mine. They have a smelter in Kitwe. There's no copper being processed in the smelter in Kitwe because the smelter has been down. Chilawombwe, where there's Konkola Deep project, we need to fast track that project. We've got activities happening in Chingola KCM. People there are protesting that no contractors haven't been paid, and that is another issue I took to Parliament. I took to Parliament a challenge to government that, look, you've brought back an investor called Vedanta, but we still have contractors not getting paid within the shortest period of time. So in terms of the outlook of the mining sector, what has happened over the last couple of years is that there's been a shift in policy by the current government. They want to sit down with the investors. But if the investors are not committing to the commitments they made, well, we need to find another way of dealing with the problem. My hope is that Vedanta puts in the money that it pledged. They've been here since 2004. They've defaulted on a lot of obligations, which we'll need another 1 hour to come and discuss those challenges we've had with Vedanta. So yeah, we've had a few things. For instance, Mopani, you are aware that the issue of Mopani is in court right now. Government has been sued for not bringing the disposal of Mopani to Parliament for approval.
Sure.
We'll let the courts determine the case. My own view is that the Constitution of Zambia is very instructive. You want to dispose of a state asset, and the word in the Constitution is major state asset, not the small things, not a newspaper. You're talking about an asset such as a mining company. You need to bring it to Parliament. If the offer from the mining investor was good enough for our people, we are going to agree. I don't know why government did not bring that conversation to Parliament. They should have brought it, would have discussed it. Maybe we would have even refined the agreement with the partner that they brought in. So for me, not pleased with some of the decisions.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's look at some of the reforms. I want you to now, getting into the detail aspect. Legal and Regulatory Overhaul Minerals Regulation Commission Act repealed the outdated Mines Act, establishing a centralized Minerals Regulation Commission to oversee licensing and compliance. You talked about the issue of Zambianization and having a number of Zambians to participate in the mining sector.
Yeah.
This administration has talked about that artisanal and small-scale mining rights, saying that this is now reserved for the Zambian citizens. One of the biggest topics that we always hear whenever we bring the issue of mining is tax reforms.
Yeah.
And according to administration, they continue saying that deductible royalty payments are now deductible from the income tax, making Zambia more attractive to investors. So they say. And further reforms is we talked about KCM, the issue of Lumwana mine, Barrigod committing $2 billion to expand copper production. Cobalt mine of the United States of America, its investment worth $150 million United States dollars to develop the Kang'Ombe copper cobalt deposit.
What's driving them to make those pledges?
Okay.
I want to talk about it.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
So, copper production growth.
Yeah.
Zambia maintained steady production. That's the target, the famous target. Every mining company that you speak to nowadays, they'll always say we need to aim for the 3 million tons target in the long run. So
in 10 years.
These are some of what I can call good news we hear from the side of the administration. You're an interested party.
Yeah.
Your constituency is right in the middle of the copper belt.
Exactly.
You understand matters of government pronouncements and the reality on the ground.
Yeah.
So when I mention the tax reforms that are marked in as plus or positive on the part of the administration, what comes to your mind?
Well, first of all, what comes to mind is I have a responsibility to share with the viewers what drives investment. What drives investment, Alex, and for the benefit of our viewers this evening, if the price of copper is good, if you know that there's huge demand for copper globally, China wants our copper, Switzerland is buying copper, the price for copper on the London Metal Exchange is attractive. You then ask yourself, should I invest $300 million? What will I get out? You do your financial modeling. If the numbers are good, if the price of copper is attractive as it is at the moment, if research by all these established institutions is showing that in the next 5 years, 10 years from now, the price of copper will keep rising, what do? You invest. It is not the tax regime that tells you whether to invest or not. It's the price of copper. Because the price of copper will tell you there's profitability or not. Why should you invest in copper mining when you know that the price of copper is at $3,000 a ton, is at $4,000 a ton? You will not invest. So what has been triggering all these investment pledges? These are called investment pledges, meaning a mining company will tell government, make sure that MRT is tax deductible, meaning when you are submitting your returns to ZRIA, you tell ZRIA, use MRT as a cost, okay? Previously, MRT was not used as a cost, which is mineral royalty tax. It was not used as a cost. So when you are calculating your taxes, how much taxes you should pay government, you are not using MRT as an expense. So the new government said, okay, we'll make it as an expense, because that's what the Chamber of Mines requested. Did that compel mining companies to invest more? No, it didn't. They simply saved more money. But the real picture is that the price of copper is attractive. The pledges you are reading out, the people from government should come here and tell the people the truth. The reason why they are pledges is because the price of copper is attractive, because the market indicators are showing that the price of copper will keep going up. China wants to make electric vehicles. Europe wants to make electric vehicles. Everyone wants copper wires. So what do you do as an investor? You have $300 million. You simply go into copper mining, not because the taxes have been reduced. Yes, we've lost income as government. We've lost, I think, almost, I'll need to look at the figures again from that decision. So your question is, what do I make of all these pledges? My comment will remain consistent. For as long as the price of copper is attractive, these investors have got money they have to borrow, and if the profitability is good, they'll come and invest. And in this case, it's the price of copper driving investment. Low price of copper, no one is going to invest.
I wouldn't want to push you to speak on behalf of the Copper Belt entirely.
Okay.
But your constituency is still on the Copper Belt. And the Copper Belt province is a very important province, especially for when it comes to elections.
It is very important, yeah.
The whispers we get from, depending on where you get it from, but on the side of the ruling party,
they say everything is okay.
Everything is okay, and this is politically no-go area for the opposition, because we are doing everything we can, and the opposition have no chance to even claim a constituency seat next in the next elections. You're from the opposition Patriotic Front.
Yeah.
Let's hear your side of the story. What is the mood?
Okay, the mood.
How's the mood on the Copper Belt?
Well, first of all, I'm on record again.
Sure.
I challenged government. I think that was last session of Parliament. Why contractors are not getting paid at Mopani, why young people are demonstrating. You remember, I think 4 or 5 months ago, young people were demonstrating in Kitwe because they deliver goods to Mopani. The invoices were being delayed. Same thing in KCM, young people who are providing PPE to KCM, they're not getting paid in good time. As a member of Parliament, I picked up the issue, presented it in Parliament. And the reason why I presented it in Parliament was because it was an issue affecting our people. And people have been asking, there's a new investor in Mopani. There's a new investor in KCM. Why can't we see the benefits? Why can't payments to our contractors be done within 30 days? Because you see, young people have to borrow money for them to be able to supply goods and services. So I took a proposal to Parliament. I asked Parliament, is it possible that there could be interest that will accrue for late payments to our suppliers and contractors? Of course, Parliament did not allow me to present the motion because they said, no, this issue can be handled by Ministry of Finance. I'm still bringing it back because you see, young people want to do business, want to be paid in good time. It's bad business, you supply goods and you don't get paid in good time. Why have I used that as an example to answer your question? I've used that as an example because those from government who say the outlook looks good. We've gotten reinvestment into the mining sector. But the reality is that we still don't have payments being done in good time, and that affects our young people. So we can still do better. We can still get government to engage the investors to do the correct thing. That is the role of those of us who are in the opposition, is to use this platform to say, look, there's an investor in Kitwe, there's an investor in KCM. How come the payments to our suppliers and contractors are still being delayed? This is the platform. Parliament is the platform. It is now the duty of those in government not to simply say, Christopher, what was he saying? It is the duty of those in government to say, well, let's pick out something from what Christopher has said, because at the end of the day, what we want is our people to benefit. And obviously, in terms of outlook, if these things are resolved, then we'll be discussing the claim from our colleagues in government. But as things stand, the outlook hasn't improved.
Let's get to your. Let's take some attention to your constituency now.
Yeah.
In terms of the developmental efforts and your role as a parliamentarian in Kamfisa, how is it going? I mean, are you delivering your promises that you made to the people, or you're seeking their vote in the 2021 election as their parliamentarian?
Well, there are three things that a member of parliament does. Number one, a member of parliament approves the national budget, okay? Argue that we need more money into the water sector. The biggest problem in Kamfisa is water. The argument I've tabled consistently every session has been, when do we get the millions of dollars that we need to change the water network in my constituency? Sure. Because CDF can't change the water, can't resolve the water challenges in Kamfisa. CDF will give us one water scheme. It will give us another water scheme in Ndeke village, one water scheme in Mlenga compound, one water scheme in Zamtan. A water scheme can only do 150 houses. But there are too many houses in my constituency. So my argument to the minister has been, give us the millions of dollars that we need to provide new water pipes. We get our water from the treatment plant, run it into the constituency. So in terms of advocacy, in terms of speaking, I always say I'm on record. I can only be on record as having argued. I can only be on record as having requested government to deliver. So using the Constituency Development Fund, we've tried to use part of those funds to do small things like water schemes. But these water schemes will not give water to 500 people. And it is my hope that we'll see government respond as we go into the next financial cycle. So in terms of connectivity for our farmers, Kamfisa has got a lot of farmers. We've got a lot of water bodies. We've got the Mwekera stream. We've got the Kamfisa stream. Our farmers want to be able to do farming. So using part of the Constituency Development Fund, we've tried to connect all these farm blocks so that when it's time to plant your maize, you get your farm inputs into the constituency. When it's time to harvest, the bridge is there. So in terms of connectivity for our 6 farm blocks, Mwekera, Kamfisa, Kakolo, Katoka Mema, Alex, I think we've responded to that challenge. What we've not been able to resolve has been the issue of our water challenges, and I want to use this platform again to appeal to government. The responsibility to provide the millions of dollars still rests on central government. The role of Christopher Kang'Ombe is to speak. I've spoken, I've written letters. A month ago, I wanted to protest that my constituency has been left out. The third roads that are being done in town center, Kwacha constituency is getting 1 or 2, 3 roads being tarred. I don't know why Kamfisa has been excluded. I've argued, and I'm sure for those from government who are watching, the argument still remains, the appeal still remains. Why have you left out Kamfisa constituency? Is it because Christopher belongs to the opposition political party? I think there are people that want to see good roads in the constituency. Their member of parliament has written letters. I'm on record in parliament. So you ask me, my assessment is that I've done the advocacy that is needed. I'm on record in parliament. I'm on record on radio. I'm on record even here today that can we get more money into the constituency, not because Christopher is opposition, because there are residents there who would want to see these public services.
You mentioned some omission on a some developmental projects.
Yeah.
And you're citing politics.
Yes.
Can you be elaborate on that?
Well,
which projects are you talking about?
So I was privileged to be mayor for the city of Kitwe. When we requested for roads to be done in Kitwe, we were given 56 kilometers. The first thing I did as mayor of Kitwe was to engage all the 5 members of parliament to say, look, we have 55 kilometers. We can't do every road. Can you sit down with your councillors, agree on your priority roads? In short, the sharing was done at district level. Every constituency got its share. Mm-hmm. So we just got 16 kilometers for Kitwe under Ministry of Local Government. I've asked why Kamfinsa is not appearing. Because ideally what should have happened, 16 kilometers should have been divided by 5. Every constituency should get 3 kilometers, 3 kilometers, meaning you are able to do 3 roads in a constituency, the nice short roads. That is why, for me, I'm citing politics. I'm citing politics because I thought by now that issue could have been resolved. I've raised it on the floor. I've asked Madam Speaker, why has Kamfinsa constituency been left out? So what am I left to do, Alex? It's to assume. It's to assume that Christopher Kang'Ombe, because of his political affiliation, the constituency is supposed to benefit from road works, has not benefited. So I'm still engaging the Minister of Local Government. He's assured me, Honorable Member of Parliament, will attend to your request. But you see, we are moving. Yeah, months are moving. I'm hoping that government will respond effectively.
The Enhanced Constituency Development Fund is said to be a game changer by the administration. Has the Enhanced CDF done any wonders in your constituency? Are you proud that without the enhanced funds, you wouldn't have achieved so many developmental platform in your constituency?
Well, the word wonders would be an exaggeration. Mm-hmm. I was privileged to be councillor for 10 years.
Sure.
And we used to use CDF. Mm-hmm. At that smaller scale, the 800,000 kwacha. We would do projects in the constituency. The MP would arrive, because you have 800,000 kwacha, we would then agree, this ward gets 200,000. So at a smaller scale, CDF was able to deliver something for our people. The vision of President Chiluba in 1996 to start CDF, because CDF started in 1996, was to resolve the small things like, a bridge has been washed away, a roof has been blown off. Over the years, the amount has been increasing. So if 800,000 kwacha was able to resolve small things, 36 million kwacha has been useful, except there's been one problem. And again, I want to be on record, and this is something I've stated in Parliament. If government is giving each constituency 36 million, there's no need for government to write a letter to explain how it should be utilized. Or buy an ambulance. Whether you like it or not, we're buying an ambulance for you. There are constituencies like Chilobi, Lunga, where there are no roads. There are water bodies all over. So an ambulance will not work in Luapula constituency, where Honorable Katotobo is. So give us the money, but don't tell us how we should use it. But it will be used within the guidelines of the Constituency Development Fund Act. So you've asked an important question. Has CDF assisted minimize the challenges in the constituency? Yes, it has. But at the end of the day, it is for slightly smaller scaled projects. A district hospital can't be built from CDF. A large-scale youth skills training center can't be built from CDF. The skills center that I've built in Kamfinsa using CDF is a smaller thing. 3 classroom blocks. We're yet to do the toilet. At a smaller scale, yes, we've been able to do. But we could do more if government will be able to say, CDF has fixed classroom blocks. Let's chip in to do the big things. So in short, at a smaller scale, I was councillor 10 years. We could do something with CDF. At a much enhanced figure, we're still able to do something. I would not be here without indicating that there have been a few projects that we've been able to do under CDF. Things like bridges for our farmers, but then we still need central government to come and tar our roads, because that we can't fix using CDF.
We're almost coming to the end of this discussion. I did say that in 2 weeks' time, we'll be counting minus 1 year as Zambia heads to the polls. And you are serving your first term as Member of Parliament.
Exactly.
But your name has come up in discussions about possible presidential candidates.
Okay.
Are you aiming higher? It won't be your first time. I mean,
I've said it.
You rose from being councillor and parliamentarian. Are we seeing Christopher Kang'Ombe on the presidential ballot next year?
Well, I haven't decided for next year, but what I do know, and which I can confirm, is that I've got plans to stand as president. There are 4 or 5 layers to presidency. If you have to look at the ladder of leadership, councillor level is the foundation. Mayoral level is district level. Parliament is where we make laws. So those are like 3 layers. So the next layer is obviously presidency. So is it next year? Is it 2036? I'm still trying to consult on that option. So you've asked a very important question. Is it next year? Well, I'll decide in December. By December, I should be able to have a decision. For now, the focus is, can we get people involved in a concept called ideas for development? We can argue about politics. We can argue about which political party has got the best manifesto. But at the end of the day, our problems are common. Whether you are UPND, you are Socialist Party, you are PF, you are MMD, we still have common problems. For now, the focus is how do we get everyone to speak the same language? That in mining, we need Zambians to be there. In agriculture, government should buy maize from small-scale farmers because they give us 80% of our food security. Those are conversations I'll continue leading. By December, Alex, I'll be able to have a decision. I always have a decision 1 year before an election.
So December, that would put us into maybe, give or take, 6-7 months.
To an election?
Yes.
To 8 months to an election.
So is that enough?
It's enough time to be relevant in the political landscape.
Platform that you use? Are you going to I mean, these
there are key questions.
Yes.
There are key questions. The platform called Patriotic Front is still incumbent in court. We have encumbrances around PF.
All right.
And that is why I told you, whether the PF platform is killed, there will still be a platform for all of us to participate next year.
You've also
Christopher
announced...
Kang'Ombe will be on the ballot regardless of whether PF has been killed or it hasn't been killed.
You've talked about starting mentorship classes.
Yes,
and
for young people.
You do them for free.
Yes.
Is it part and parcel of consultation?
No. That is totally away from this consultative process leading to my decision. The mentorship platform is a response to these phone calls. Christopher, you are a councillor. I want to stand as councillor. The following day, Christopher, you are mayor of Kitwe. I want to stand as mayor. What do I do? Christopher, you are a member of parliament. You are 40 years old. You have been in leadership for 19 years. How did you get there? So instead of me fixing appointments for one person after the other, why not help young people get ready for leadership? Because we have an election coming. So I'm doing it. I'm helping them. Those that need my help. And I've told them, whether you are a Socialist Party, whether you are PF, whether you are UPND, whether you are MMD, if you need my assistance as Christopher Kang'Ombe, I will help you. Because you are a young person who will not navigate the challenges that some of us manage to navigate.
All right, we're coming to the end of this discussion, Mr.
Yes.
Kang'Ombe. Your final remarks as we close.
Well, my final remarks are that times in politics have changed. If you are given 1 hour to speak, people want to hear solutions. People want to hear, do our leaders believe in Zambia? Do our leaders believe in the solution that will be effective for healthcare? Is the current national health insurance effective? What should be changed about NIMA so that young people can have access to proper healthcare, so that old people in my constituency can have healthcare? Christopher Kang'Ombe this is what Christopher Kang'Ombe has been advocating for. I'm on record discussing NIMA for the poor people of Zambia. I'm on record defending the decision to have young people in Mufumbwe participate in mining. I'll continue being on record saying I believe in the people of Mapatizia because they need to benefit from the lithium that is in Mapatizia. That is what Christopher Kang'Ombe believes in. I believe in the abilities of our people.
All right, thank you so much, and hopefully December you'll be able to come.
I'll come here and I'll tell you the decision.
All right, thank you so much.
But be rest assured that 1 year before an election, I always have a decision.
All right. Yeah. Even if you should we take it that if you maintain to stand again as parliamentarian, you haven't made any decision?
We'll come to that in December.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. To appreciate. Youth governance and future was our discussion points this evening, and my guest has been the Member of Parliament for Kamfinsa, Christopher Kang'Ombe. His political career started, like I did say, early in 2006, while a student of Copperbelt University, served as union president. Same year, at 21, he was elected as local government councillor, becoming the first university student in Zambia to hold public office. He served councillor 2 terms, and that's later he became Kitwe's first executive mayor and chaired the Local Government Association of Zambia. In 2021, he entered parliament under the Patriotic Front, and he's been my guest this week. So we await his CV, whether to be upgraded or not. But I do appreciate for making time to be part of a discussion.
Thanks a lot. Thanks,
sure.
Alex.
All right.
It's been a pleasure.
All right.
Yeah.
Back next week. My name is Alexander Msogotwane. Good night.